Hello, welcome back to Technical Tuesday with Johnny Tiger on August 16, yeah, 2022. As you can tell, I'm still not 100% back to being my usual rambunctious self, given that little elbow striking combo was a little bit sloppier than I'd like. But that's okay, because sometimes in life, especially uh, out there in the real world, uh, you might have to fight when you are not feeling good. I mean, a lot of us, we try not to think about that, right? Uh, when we train in a dojo, when we're fighting in competition and stuff like that, a lot of time it's easy to take a day off and say, hey, I just came down with the flu. I'm not going to do anything for this week. But what if while you're on your way to get that flu medication, someone attack you in the parking lot? Can you defend yourself then? When you are sick with a fever, a cough, you can barely breathe, barely think, can you still do it? That is a good question, and but one to be answered another day. Well, I don't really need to answer that for you. I mean, that's something for you to answer for yourself. But for me, I have done it before. I have had to fight when I was really sick, stuff like that. It's not fun, but amazingly, once adrenaline rush dump into your bloodstream, the fear, the anger, you don't really feel the sickness much anymore, at least for the time being. Anyway, uh, today I want to talk about, well, of course, more elbow strikes, because that seemed to be our main topic in the last few episodes. When you come to elbow strike, we already talked about how to hit hard, how to move in, close the distance with your little skip and lunge and all your perf- perfect open hand and proper angle to get you to the optimum power, optimum range. But perhaps to a lot of people, the biggest issue with elbow strike is where exactly do you strike? Now that sounds like a silly question because most people say, "Oh, you go for the body, of course," or, "Yeah, you're getting close and you hit them in the face," or you get behind them and then you hit them on the back of the neck with your elbow. And some people try to do the very fancy stuff with, if someone punches me, I'm going to grab their hand, move to the side, and bring my elbow down on their elbow, break their arm. All that are great tips and great ideas. But a lot of these become ideas that fly out the window when the actual fight happens. This is why you don't see people actually do that, do these moves very, very often. Okay? First, why elbow going in for the body shot is difficult? Because usually the arms in the way, right? If the person's arm is blocking, then I just start going in for the body shot. I have a big chance of getting myself grabbed, or my elbow might hit his elbow might be harder than my elbow, or if he really got a good jab cross game, then I can't even get close enough to his body with my elbow, right? Why is it not always a good idea to go for the face? The thing about hitting someone in the face is, well, there's two reasons. One, if you hit someone in the face with your elbow, there's a good chance of actually killing them, right? Especially if you're good with your elbow game, if you're strong with your elbow game. This is a very pointy part of your body. You go boom like that into someone's face, there's a chance of shattering a lot of the bones right here in the front, breaking the nose, breaking the eye socket, blinding the person, killing them with shock. Uh, so that's one reason why you kind of want to hold back on that. Uh, Number two is if you hit the forehead, then you might end up hurting yourself a lot more than you hurt the person. I hit a guy on the forehead with my elbow before. It was almost at full power. I would say like 80% strength, and it gave him a headache, and it made me unable to use uh, that arm for the rest of the fight. Um, and if you hit too low, you get the mouth, which is a big problem, right? If you hit someone in the mouth with a knuckle, in the mouth with your elbow, most likely you're going to break the teeth, and most likely you're going to end up with the teeth embedded in your skin. Okay, think about that for a second. Think about that. Like you finish the fight and you walk home and then you look down at your elbow and your knuckle. You're like, oh, what's that poking out of my skin? Is that my bone? Is that something? Did I break my bone? And then you go, oh, ew, that's the other guy's teeth. Oh, and then now you got to rush to get that extracted. Make sure no little chip of it stay in your body, and you may end up with a really bad infection that puts you out of action for a long time. So yeah, avoid the mouth with your elbow. It's not fun. It's not fun for the person getting hit by you. It's not fun. Not going to be fun for you either, right? And I don't even need to tell you guys why it's a bad idea to go do the back of the neck thing or the throat thing. These are great options, but there again, only if you really don't mind killing the person, if you can justify it. And let's talk about justification. Let's talk about that briefly. If someone comes swinging a knife at me, and let's say the person swing the knife at me, and I'm struggling with him. I got a hold of his hand. I'm basically trying to take the knife from him. And from here, if I see an opportunity, I go boom right in the face. And for some reason, that guy died from that elbow to the face. Then I am very confident that I still have to go to court, but the chance of me getting convicted for anything is very low. Okay, because he has a knife. I was trying to defend my life. That's different, right? But get this, right? If a big guy and I were fist fighting, and then I get in and grab him around the head, and from this point I start boom, boom into his face with my elbow, and he died from that. That is not self-defense, guys. That is totally not self-defense. Okay, that turned into manslaughter. Okay, because I already have hold of him. He's not really posing a major threat, especially to my life at this point. So if I add this big elbow into the throat, into the face, and he dies from that, then I would have a really hard time wiggling out of that. So big elbow to the face, big elbow to the neck sound good on paper, and sound like great advice to give to your friends. Someone tries to attack you, elbow them in the face, elbow them in the throat. Okay, be careful with that. So, what's the optimum way to use the elbow? Where should you strike? Very simple. Okay, very simple. This is the principle that I almost always follow myself. Work from the outside in. Work from the outside in. What do I mean by that? An elbow is probably one of the deadliest weapons on your body outside of your brain. And your brain is always going to be the deadliest weapon on your body. But your elbow is pretty close to that. Okay. So we are going to treat elbow like a knife. Okay? This sounds a little bit crazy right now, but you guys will see it shortly. So when we are defending ourselves using a knife, not talking about any kind of crazy outlaw Western world where there's no consequences if you just go and cut someone if they attack you, right? We're in civilized world where if you kill them, you really have a chance of ending up in jail. So if I have to use a knife to defend myself against another person, knife or hand or whatever, I work from the outside in. I'm not going to just go for the body. Why? Because again, for me to enter the body, I might kill them, yes, but if they have a knife in their hand, while I'm stabbing their body, they are stabbing me. Okay? So that's not a good trade. This is exactly the same as an elbow. Can I hurt someone's body really bad with my elbow? Yes, I can. But while I'm elbowing them, they might be headbutting me in the face, right? So work from the outside in. Like a knife. If I'm defending myself with a knife, then I aim for what is the most immediate to me, most immediate threat, the person's hand, because most likely he's got a weapon too. So I'm going to look for the opportunity to cut the knuckle and cut the inside of the arm, the wrist, okay, to disable that weapon. And then I most likely can just walk away. I can just call the police at that point because he's not going to be able to pose much of a threat after that, right? So elbow is the same kind of deal. If I'm fighting somebody and I need to use my elbow strike, this is obviously not tournament setting. If it's tournament setting, then there's a lot more skills and techniques going into this than we can cover today. But in a fight, in the self-defense scenario, if someone is going to be attacking me and I am thinking about employing my super deadly elbow, then I'm not going to go in for the body. Instead, I'm going to wait for a chance to put my elbow in the way of their fist so they break their knuckle on my elbow. I'm going to wait for a chance to bring my elbow across and down on their forearm. I'm going to wait for a chance to bring my elbow on the elbow joint, on the top of the elbow joint. I'm going to wait for a chance to circle out and elbow them right on the shoulder joint. I'm going to wait for a chance to circle down and elbow them in the uh, hip, in the leg, and the kneecap. Okay, I'm going to disable what limb can do damage to me at the uh, closest time, the most immediate problem, the closest to me, because elbow is a short range weapon. Now, I don't want to go out of my way to try to go for the head, try to go for the body. Eh? If they reach for me with a hand, with a weapon in it, then I'm going to hit that hand with the elbow. I'm going to hit that elbow joint with my elbow. I'm going to hit that shoulder joint with the elbow and then back away, right? So it's a very simple principle. Like I said, it's very similar to stick fighting, knife fighting. Work from the outside in, hit what's giving you the most trouble, is the closest to you, uh, the most problematic, the most immediate threat, and don't keep thinking about going for those big, deadly, lethal elbow shot to the body, elbow shot to the head, stuff like that. Now, quickly now, um, some people, a lot of people that I know, that when they are sparring or fighting in tournament, they're like trying to go for the elbow shot, but they don't know how to get in there because the person got their guard up all the time. The person they're fighting got a really solid guard. So if I go for elbow, their arms there. I go for the elbow, their arms there. And when 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 I hear about or see people do that, I'm like, you're forgetting what elbow is for. Your elbow it's essentially that tool, like a can opener, like a screwdriver. It's meant for going through things. So if the person is got their guard up like that, why are you even bothering to go for the body, right? If the person got their guard up like that, and the guard is so solid, the arm is always going to be in the way, then I'm just going to go for the arm, right? I'm just going to wait for them to put their arm in my path again, and I'm just going to elbow them right in the middle of their forearm. I'm going to break that forearm, and now that forearm is out of the picture, and I can go for the face, right? So get rid of what is the most immediate to you first. Work from the outside in. Uh, with elbow, that's very important. I hope you guys can hear me today, but I know my energy level is not as good as it used to be. But anyway, hopefully that was uh, comprehensive, and I will be back again tomorrow. Hopefully with a stronger voice for some Wisdom Wednesday. For now, have a good night.